Phyllis asked Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent about past differences with Pulte.
Did you actually tell Pulte you were going to punch him in the face?
No, sir. I actually said I was going to kick his ass.
Good. Okay. Good. I share the emotion. Thank you.
And as I said, that was last summer, summer 25, and many teams have fights in the locker room and then go out and win for the team on the field.
Phyllis said he was just curious because he expects that story to resurface as Pulte steps into the nation's top intelligence role. And the United States has imposed sanctions on Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel, his wife, and 3 other individuals. The action Thursday is the latest move by the Trump administration to pressure the island's leadership, and it drew immediate condemnation from Havana. Included in the sanctions are the son and grandson of former President Raul Castro, as well as the current Cuban president's stepson. The new penalties come as U.S. President Donald Trump has been threatening military action in Cuba since ousting Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro in January and then ordering an energy blockade that choked off fuel shipments to Cuba. You're listening to NCN News.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. On June 1st, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office got a report that between January of this year through May of this year, 2 employees embezzled property from FedEx. The investigation revealed that about $28,000 worth of electronics had been stolen from the delivery truck. On June 3rd, the Sheriff's Office Property Crimes detectives arrested 24-year-old Christopher Webb of Dunn. He is facing multiple charges and was taken to the Cumberland County Detention Center. On June 3rd, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office also arrested 25-year-old Jahan Scott of Fayetteville. He is also facing multiple charges. Join the city today as we come together for Wear Orange in recognition of Gun Violence Awareness Month. Connect with community partners, access free safety resources, learn how we can work together to prevent violence in Cumberland County. The event is 9 a.m. until noon at the Cumberland County Department of Health. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
It's heating up for the upcoming weekend. We're back to some summer-like weather with highs in the 90s. Today, it's a hot afternoon, lots of sunshine. High temperatures climb into the lower to middle 90s today. Overnight tonight, it's partly cloudy and still pretty comfortable. Temperatures will fall into the low 60s tonight. Mostly sunny skies heading into Saturday, another hot day with highs back in the low to mid 90s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the NCN Weather Center.
This edition of your local news and weather is brought to you by Fayetteville PWC.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code WALK5 to get up to a $5 bonus on your first tank.
Good morning to you. It's Friday, and we're back again for Jay and DL. They're on the line, and I'm hosting here. I'm anchoring things down at the flagship station, WIDU 1600 AM, 99.7, and we are most able producer this morning, Miss Tammy Quick. Yay! So, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's a sad day for me too. Today, this afternoon at Wiseman Mortuary, there will be a wake service for former Commissioner Billy R. King, who was originally from Wilson, North Carolina, and he is passed. Oh man, that's just terrible, man. He passed on last week, and so this weekend he will be laid to rest at Lewis Chapel. Services are tomorrow. There will be visitation services today, and then at 11 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning, the services will be at Lewis Chapel. That's his home church. So I'm praying for his wife and his daughters and all of his friends, and I consider myself to be a friend as well. And it was a tough loss. But God knows what he's doing. He's a great chess player there, so we're praying for everybody. Anyway, back to the phone lines, and good morning, Jay and DL.
Good morning, Troy. Good morning, DL.
Good morning, sir. DL, you there? DL, you there?
I don't hear DL.
Okay. So I'm not getting anything from him. But anyway, though. Oh, he's there? Okay. DL, I can't hear you. We had some issues earlier, and so I don't know what's going on with that. We're going to go while we waiting for DL to get there. I don't want to start a conversation yet, but Jay, on the off topic while we're waiting for DL to get straight. So the Knicks pull off game one there, just briefly, and so
very exciting.
They act like they won the whole thing already.
I know, a little bit early celebration. I think I really thought that the Spurs would win. They were up by like 14.
I remember that second half.
And then they hit this dry spell, and Brunson again, was a star. Wemby was not at his best, but he still, he had an okay game. It's tough to lose at home. The key is Spurs need to win the next game. It's tough to lose two at home and continue to win. I think they'll be back and ready to play. I would like to mention one thing, that the Canes came back last night and did win in overtime to tie the series 1-1. So that's very good news.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was following that. Well, I think I fell asleep on that, but it's still, I was concerned about that game, So I'm glad that they're back. I'm like, oh man, So.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go there. DL, you there now?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
Okay, yeah, I heard that. No problem. Well, look, we're going to transition out of the sports arena. A couple things we want to talk about. In specific, guys want to talk about, even I know that you're not a criminal justice professional, but still, Jay, this whole thing that happened in South Carolina is pretty horrific. South Carolina jury did find a store owner not guilty of murdering in 2023 the shooting of a 14-year-old African-American kid. The youngster shot was Cyrus Carmack Belton. He was shot in the back. And now here's the background to the audience out there. What happened was the youngster was accused of stealing 4 bottles of water. And he didn't steal it. And so the store owner said, well, he pointed a gun at my son. That's not real evidence of that either. The kid did have a gun in his backpack, and when he was running away, the gun fell out. But the store owner chased the young man 130 yards. That is the length of a football field and then some, a third of a football field. So that's a long ways to chase someone and say, okay, I'm chasing him this distance because I fear for my son's life. Well, you know, this guy has run a long ways away from you, and you shoot him in the back and you kill him. And but Deal and I were discussing this. I think the fact that he killed a young man, that's one thing, but I believe what messed all that up, from what I can see and understand, is the prosecution side of the house. Deal?
Yeah, you know, depending on who you talk to, I listened to some lawyer, attorney online. He thought maybe they should have went out to manslaughter, and I'm thinking if they did charge manslaughter, I think some in the community would have been upset that he wasn't charged with murder. I'm trying to wrap my brain around the fact I listened to some of the trial online, and the defense attorney, I don't understand why they were talking about. Well, I understand what the defense attorney is doing. He was asking the detective, do you walk into a store with a backpack all the time? And the detective, it went back and forth because the detective wanted to respond right away, and then the defense attorney wouldn't let him. Well, folks, in law enforcement, we got a term called fruit of the poisonous tree, meaning that any evidence obtained illegally, you can't use it. So I don't know why the backpack comes into play, because the young man never presented a gun to the owner and his son. So running after somebody, he has every right to, if he saw somebody take his stuff, because merchants can detain for shoplifting. I know in North Carolina they can. I'm pretty certain in other states you can, except California because they're crazy out there. You might not be able to detain for your property. But in this situation right here, he can't scream, well, I'm in fear for my life, when, like you said, Troy, he chases him over 100 yards over the length of a football field. It's just, to me, it's very disturbing from a lot of standpoints, over some water.
Yeah, I mean,
it reminds me of the...
Right.
Yeah, go on.
Go ahead, Jay.
No, it just reminds me of the case. I totally agree with you. You know, if he's running away, the defense said that the son felt he was in danger because the young 14-year-old pointed a gun at him. There was never any proof that the gun was ever pulled.
Right.
And the other thing is, to be running away and to shoot a kid in the back is outrageous. It reminds me, or it's reminiscent of the case that happened in California years ago, where a young girl went into a convenience store and the owner, an Asian woman, shot a young black girl for fear that she stole some orange juice. And that became, it was so much outrage over that, because, to shoot someone over shoplifting, to me, is just outrageous. I can't even understand why you would kill someone. I would be upset if someone stole something from my store, but to end someone's life, I can't even fathom the thought process that would go through with that. And same thing with this situation here with this young man. Again, they said he actually had some bottles of water in the store. He put them back in the cooler, is what it said, and then he proceeded to leave the store. And if the defense could never prove that the gun was ever pointed at the son, I don't know how the jury would be able to say not guilty. It doesn't make sense to me unless there's more details that I'm missing.
Well, I guess the thing is, though, and I would ask this to our audience. So who believes that somebody walks into a store and pulls a gun and say, give me 4 bottles of water? Okay, so say, I mean, come on, man. I mean, really? Who believes that? That is so far-fetched. Okay, and then the guy, I felt my life was threatened. Do you know what the length of a football field is? I mean, he chased him 130 yards. Right. I mean, that's even star athletes are pretty much out of breath running somebody that far. I mean, I'm just saying, it just, but this is what I'm told is what messed things up. Because the prosecutors, witnesses may have been tampered with, in a sense. Initially, people said they didn't see anything. Then the prosecution, that is either the DA's office or the police, got the people to say that they did see something. And, that played a part in it as well. And then, a backstory, Jay, which I disagree with you on this. I was talking to you earlier. The Asian guy who did the shooting had an African-American defense attorney. And you said, I think you said, I can understand why somebody...
It's a very strategic thing to do. You want to do that. If he shot a black child, I think that's a strategy that the defense used. And I actually think that's a good strategy.
But I'm just talking about whether or not we should like a defense attorney or dislike him because he's doing his job.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just like, understand this right here. This is what some people don't realize. Because I work for a defense attorney. All those cases are not cases that we volunteered for. The judge can sit there and say, hey, look, such and such a firm, you all will defend this person. You see what I'm saying? You're told to do that by the court. And being a lawyer, being an officer of the court, you have to give that person the most rigorous defense that they can get, even if the whole world saw them do something. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I totally agree. I agree. But when you look at a case, just for example, the case in Charleston where Dylan Roof went into a church, shot, I think, 9 or 10 black members of the church.
Correct.
We know he did it. There's no question. You have someone defending him. It's hard for me to respect that defense attorney knowing that this guy is a cold-blooded killer. I get it. He deserves a defense, but I'm just saying that sometimes the acts are so despicable and we sort of know the person is guilty, and then to defend someone like that,
Jay,
for someone like me, that's very hard to understand. But I understand they deserve a defense.
I know, but Jay, I'm telling you, if you are a lawyer and you're practicing law, you in Durham County now, but let's say you were, if you were practicing law there, you do know the judge can say, hey, Attorney Jay Reinstein, you will defend this person. You see what I'm saying?
I understand that.
And
yeah,
so,
I
mean, but that's not the lawyer's fault. That's the way the criminal justice
system works. No, it isn't. It's sometimes hard for me to separate. I totally understand it. I understand the system. I'm just saying from a personal perspective, it's hard for me to understand someone that comes into court every day representing someone that's so despicable. That's all I'm saying. I get it. It's just hard to separate the two.
All right,
so I
Jay.
get it.
Okay, Jay. All right. Okay, all right.
There you go.
But if it turns out to be somebody that you like, or a family member, or everything else, what then? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah.
DM.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying personally.
I know that, but I just okay, all right. DM.
Yeah, he's the black defense attorney he's catching some heat on social media. I disagree with it because, first of all, he was hired and he's in the profession of defending folks and making a living. I don't, he looked at this case and it's his job. If he could have turned it down. He felt he didn't want to, and I can respect that.
Well, I'm just saying is that here, these first-degree murder cases in North Carolina, they are assigned to attorneys. You see what I'm saying? It's not like you've been paid by the state. The same state that is prosecuting people, that same state is paying someone to defend these people. Yeah. So, I mean, this is not like all the time they come into the court, the law office with a bunch of money and say, hey, look, I want you to defend me. A lot of that has to do with you are just given that assignment. And, it's just like if you were a JAG officer, you got to defend people sometimes, and then you have to prosecute people sometimes. So I'm talking about that's a military lawyer. You know what I mean? It goes both ways.
Yeah.
But I understand. I'm just trying to say conceptually, I don't have a problem with it, but I can understand why someone would. Okay, I got you. I'll leave that alone.
You hear me? There you go. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. So look, let's talk about Jill Biden and her memoirs. So Jill Biden has her memoirs, and she's throwing shade at everybody. She's throwing shade at Obama. She's throwing shade at Kamala Harris. She's throwing shade at the Democratic Party. What's going on with her, Jay? What do you think? And then when I say Jill Biden, I'm talking about the former First Lady, the wife of the former President, Joe Biden.
I think it's very simple. She wants to try to protect his legacy. And unfortunately, by trying to protect his legacy, she is throwing out a bunch of lies. When you have a bad performance during the what was it, the June 24th, what do we call that? The
debate, right?
The debate. I couldn't think of the word.
Was it 24th or 27th?
So he has a terrible performance. She claims in the interviews that she thought she was terrified with the performance and thought maybe he was having a stroke. If you think he's having a stroke, you would probably call a health professional. Instead, they go to another event maybe an hour later, another rally, and she asked the question. Joe answered all the questions. You did a great job. That's exactly what she said. Following that, they go to Waffle House for a snack. Now, you can't be that worried about your husband having a medical emergency and do those things. It's embarrassing. The other thing that I think is very troubling, like you said, Troy, she really is trying to throw everyone under the bus. Jill Biden was part of that very inner core team that throughout his presidency was protecting him from the media, would not allow him to do interviews, would make sure that people were walking with him after he got off of Air Force One so that he was sort of protected and shielded. She was the one that really wanted him to run, and there were others in the party that said, Jill, maybe not a good thing. There were also those sycophants within the Democratic Party that would say, Joe's doing a great job. He's fantastic. I'm so impressed with him in these private meetings we're having, yet we would see him in meetings, and it would be like a deer in the headlights. So I think the real problem here is you have a wife that loved her husband, that wanted to protect his legacy, and unfortunately, while trying to protect the legacy, she was covering for him, as others were, and now it's like after the fact trying to protect him. It's embarrassing. The book has been a total joke, and unfortunately, she's making matters worse. One final thing is the Democratic Party, many members were like, oh, my God, why is she coming out with this book now? We're trying to forget this chapter in American history, and now she's bringing everything up before the midterms. So not a good look, big mistake, and I'm embarrassed. I'll let someone else speak. I hope I set the tone there, Mr. Williams.
Okay, DL, comments.
Well, I disagree. I agree with everything that Jay stated. This is self-serving of the floaters, that First Lady of the United States. I think if you put country before self, you tell the president, the ex-president Joe Biden, that we need to sit this one out. We need to pass the baton to somebody younger in the party and let them decide. She didn't, because she liked the status of being the First Lady of the United States of America, and so did his senior staff members. And I'll tell anybody, I firmly believe that if the Democrats pick someone of their choosing, there's a good chance that President Trump's not back in office. That's just my opinion. But they didn't. They gave America somebody that they didn't vote for in 20s, and that's the consequence of what we have now. But getting back to the former First Lady, it's just very disappointing. She took this time to float her book out when their party is getting ready for the midterms. She wants to throw the book out and call people out. And here's my last point on this, Troy. And I am not trying to offend anybody, but if your husband is competent, he doesn't need his wife defending him. Let him talk for himself. She's proving the point. She's out talking, defending her husband when he should be defending himself. So that's
Good
my
point,
biggest problem
DL.
with her. It was my problem. Say again?
Good point, DL.
Yeah. It was my problem. Their first interview on The View, right after President Trump took office, and she's still doing it now. Most men I know, most able-bodied men I know run their own household. They can talk for themselves. They don't need their wife defending them. But I digress. I'll pass it to you, Troy.
Well, you know.
What are your thoughts, Troy Williams?
No, I'm just coming back to what Jay said. Look, you think your husband is having a stroke, and you take him to Waffle House. I mean, really. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but
That'll give you a stroke, actually. Waffle House may give you a stroke.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, look, make it make sense. Come on, really? So you think your husband, you put in there, I'm thinking he may be having a stroke, and as a matter of fact, let's go to Waffle House, get something to eat. I mean, okay, come on. I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm just like, but you expect somebody to believe that stuff, man. Come on, I mean, it's just, I
think it's just bad for the Democratic Party. Again, I think another part of the problem is the autopsy report. That again, that's all sort of it all sort of connects. Where the head of the DNC, Ken Martin, I believe his name is, he has been one of the weakest DNC chairs. He doesn't release the report, which again does not make Joe Biden look very good. It talks about cover-up, but yet he kept saying, we're not releasing it. That makes it look like there is a cover-up. So, it's just one they keep bumbling the process, and, it's just not a good look. I'm surprised they have that leadership in place. They need new leadership. They have real potential for the midterms, but when we keep talking about what happened to Joe Biden, unfortunately, that doesn't help the process. So I'd like that to be sort of in the rearview mirror, and the party moves forward. But I'm not sure how it moves forward with these kind of conversations.
That's true. Well, look, we're getting ready. We're approaching a break here. Come back. We'll talk a bit about. You want to talk about Scott Paley, and so his firing at CBS 60 Minutes. Jay, I'm sure you all riled up on that. So. Don't go too far.
I am very riled up on it, but there's more to it than that. But yes, we can talk about that. We can talk about anything you two would like to talk about. I am up for a good conversation or argument.
Sure. Well, look, following that, we do want to talk about these graduations. And look, folks, calm down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, look, all of this insanity that's going on at these graduations is, oh my God. And I'm just telling you, is one racial group that appears to be doing the most of it. That's sad, but kind of true here. I'm saying, look, we'll be back for more inside of the morning show on this Friday. We'll be back.
You have always put others before yourself. Put your country above all else. Given everything you can, every time. Now it's time to forge a new path. At Fayetteville State University, we believe your service is our debt. So we're offering free military family tuition. Yes, absolutely free. And with new programs like cybersecurity, anything really can happen. Fayetteville State University. Are you in?
Drought conditions statewide continue to improve slightly over the past week, but much of central North Carolina saw little to no relief. Search efforts continue for 2 armed and dangerous inmates who escaped the Vance County Detention Center. The FBI and Vance County Crime Stoppers are offering a combined reward of up to $40,000. An Amber Alert has been issued for 2 children out of Brunswick County believed to be in danger. Brunswick County Sheriff's Office is searching for 9-year-old Chance Wilcox and 11-year-old Wyatt Wilcox. The House Armed Services Committee late Thursday passed the annual defense policy bill, sending the mammoth nearly $1.1 trillion measure to the full House for debating a chunk of some 900 offered amendments for 14 hours. Republicans in the North Carolina Senate next week are expected to advance a bill that would make it easier for homeowners to build backyard cottages and small secondary homes. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. On June 1st, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office got a report that between January of this year through May of this year, 2 employees embezzled property from FedEx. The investigation revealed that about $28,000 worth of electronics had been stolen from the delivery truck. On June 3rd, the Sheriff's Office Property Crimes detectives arrested 24-year-old Christopher Webb of Dunn. He is facing multiple charges and was taken to the Cumberland County Detention Center. On June 3rd, the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office also arrested 25-year-old Jahan Scott of Fayetteville. He is also facing multiple charges. Join the city today as we come together for Wear Orange in recognition of Gun Violence Awareness Month. Connect with community partners, access free safety resources, learn how we can work together to prevent violence in Cumberland County. The event is 9 a.m. until noon at the Cumberland County Department of Health. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
High pressure settles in and eventually moves to the east of us. That's going to open the door to a southerly flow, and that means hotter temperatures headed this way. Clear skies and still comfortable overnight tonight. Temperatures will fall into the upper 50s. It's sunny and it's hot on Friday. High temperatures climb into the low to mid 90s. Saturday, it's mostly sunny and hot again with highs back in the low to mid 90s. I'm meteorologist Amy Wilmoth in the NCN Weather Center.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever.
Angelic Florist Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville, is family owned and operated, proudly serving the Fayetteville area. Whatever the occasion, Angelic Florist Creations can create a floral arrangement or gift for any occasion or holiday. Angelic Florist Creations has prompt, friendly, and caring service. If you want to say you care, you can always say it with flowers from Angelic Florist Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville. Call 910-485-2205.
It's Jeff Thompson, the Bloomin' Idiot from Bell's Seed Store. 230 East Russell Street, directly across the street from the courthouse in wonderful downtown Fayetteville. Mother Hare preached it here for years, and I'm here to follow right up on her. The Max Force Roach Gel is the thing you need if you want to get rid of roaches and water bugs in your house, in your place of business, anywhere you've got them. She told you she was never going to lie to you, and I'm not either, because we're both going to end up in heaven. So I want you to invite you down for the Max Force Roach Gel, the absolute best product that you will find to get rid of roaches and water bugs in your place. Now, we've also got any kind of other insecticide for your gardens, for your home, for your lawn. Anything you need to control all the pests that are driving you crazy, I've got them on hand, and I've got the knowledgeable staff that can show you exactly what you need for your situation. So it's Bell's Seed Store, 230 East Russell Street, directly across the street from the courthouse in wonderful downtown Fayetteville.
If you have been injured in a motor vehicle collision, You should understand that the insurance company is not on your side. It is the adjuster's job to get by with paying you as little as possible. Call personal injury trial lawyer Brent Adams now for a free no-obligation consultation. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
Back 36 minutes after the hour there. So, conversation now is going to swing to these graduations. That's when I say graduations, talking about high school graduations, university graduations. I guess we've already had the university graduation. We're in the high school thing now, at least all in North Carolina, probably some other states. But look, here's the thing right here. Look, this thing has just gotten out of hand. I mean, folk, they get up, and to me, it's embarrassing. You know, you're out here, your child is walking across the stage. We're happy for that. The fact that some of them still can't read, that's another issue. But still, I mean, make it make sense, man. Talk to me.
Well, you know, there's a verse in Philippians that says, 14:33 say, our God is a God of peace and order, not chaos and disorder. In America, I don't care what religious background you come from, when you go to your place of worship, you're going to have order there. And hopefully most households have order. Some don't. I can tell you this. But here's the bottom line for these graduations. I've noticed it. I graduated from Mooresville High School in '87. I've been back to about a handful of graduations, cousins and my younger sister. Now, Mooresville, the demographics, I would say, probably 85% white. They kind of let them do a little cutting up, and no problem. But the principal has dictated that. I don't care if you go to an HBCU, predominantly white institution, if that administrator or that provost or whoever's running that at a college level say, hey, we want you to not dance, shout, or whatever until after everybody receives their diploma. Yep. That's fine, because that's what they're telling you to do. If they do it at the high school level, I mean, it's the same thing. On the opposite, Troy, though, if you're the official, the administrator, whether it be college or high school, again, say, hey, if you want to come and do your fraternity dance, if you want to moonwalk, snake, whatever, we're here for it. It's going to take us like 5 minutes per person. I'm going to allow you to do it. The bottom line is when somebody in charge says, this is what I want you to do, we need to do it, young folks. And you look at social media and across these platforms, you have folks saying, well, this is an important milestone for this child. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They didn't hurt nobody. No, yes, they did, because they're starting off on the wrong foot. Now, if it becomes a big issue and it hits social media, it's a name tag to it, who's going to want to hire that person? If they're going into, I would say, the corporate world. And if they're going to McDonald's somewhere, and I don't mean to be funny, they ain't going to worry about it. But that's my problem with it, Troy and Jay, is that if an adult tells you to do something, like these cell phones, they still can't make up their mind in high school about these cell phones. Parents, anybody out there that's co-signing this, after your child or you've been told as a administrator not to clap until everybody receives their diploma, you're wrong. Listen to instruction from people who are appointed over you, who are in charge of the program. That's my problem, is folks are not doing what's asked of them, and that's wrong, and we can't justify wrong.
Jay?
Yeah, I would say I've watched a lot of news reports. I was trying not to look at the TikToks because I honestly don't know what's real and what's not real with AI. So I'm trying to look at news, and I will tell you, there were some brutal fights between students.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about just really brutal, where they're just all attacking each other, where parents would get involved. There was even a kindergarten school graduation
Kindergarten.
where parents got into this brawl because they couldn't get the right seats. In a kindergarten, I mean, it was just embarrassing. I will say this, and I talked to Troy before we went on the air, and there was a common theme in just about all of these major brawls. It was with African Americans, black folks, fighting. I didn't see any brawls, and again, I know there are with white folks, but there was a common theme here. It was in a lot of black schools, or at least with black kids. Not a good look, and I'm not sure if it is starting at the top with the administration, where they're either too lax or don't set the proper rules. But I will say this: these were brutal fights in some of these graduations. And when you think about it, you work so hard for those 4 years in high school, or 3 years, whatever it is now. You want your parents are there, your family's there. You want to have something that you can remember for years. But when you have these knuckleheads fighting, it ruins the entire experience. And that's what you remember. You don't remember the graduation ceremony. You remember the fighting. I'm not sure how you get that under control, but it's not a good look. And as a white guy, I was sort of hesitant to bring it up, quite honestly. I thought, oh, God, I don't want to be that person bringing it up, but that was reality.
That Jay, the kindergarten, I think they were white folks at the kindergarten. I remember watching that.
White folks were kindergarten. That's true.
But first of all, I don't know why we celebrating kindergarten graduations and middle school graduations. I'm glad I think you devalue it. I'm glad I've only graduated from high school, and that was the only ceremony I had. And Jay, I'm glad you brought this up before we go to Troy. We're talking about the fights, the actual fist fights.
Oh, they were brutal.
I'd rather have the celebrating if it was allowed, but now we went to fist fight. It's got totally out of hand and embarrassing.
It is. It is.
But look, I would say this, Dia, because I volunteered this year at Bill Hefner, and so that's a K through 5. So they have a graduation for the youngsters that are leaving the primary school, going to middle school. I don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, I really became more enlightened and have. I've always had respect for teachers, but seeing Dr. Backman and her staff at Ben Hefner really made me appreciate the whole situation more of what teachers and what they mean to community and schools. But they have a graduation. I think that the whole kindergarten graduation thing, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, look, my daughter had a graduation from not kindergarten, but the thing before that, whatever. It's so far back, I don't remember now. But that,
I know you talk about
preschool.
You talk about the. Yeah, I had to go to a couple of those. I didn't even want to go to those.
I think it's adorable.
I do because
I say keep them.
Each level of success is celebrated. You know what I mean? And so they're going along, and so you watch them. Some parents get the chance to watch their kids graduate from kindergarten, and the next thing you know, it seems like it's a blip. They're graduating from medical school and they're a doctor. You know what I mean? I mean, it just all of these are important, because you kind of putting something in the child, I believe, that makes them grow and want them to continue on levels of success. So that's why I agree with that. But the fighting stuff and all that's ridiculous, man. I mean, it just, come on, give me a break. I mean, these folk have no sense of decorum or anything. It's just like, hey, look, we're going out here with throwing punches, and I see people come to these graduations and say, don't say anything, and some of the parents will yell out and then get up because they know they're going to throw them out and then walk out. I mean, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense.
Right, exactly.
Not to me.
You're
I put
spoiling
like
such an important milestone of these kids' lives. It's a big deal. And then what you remember is, a kid getting punched in the face instead of the kid walking across the stage. It's embarrassing.
And then the administrators, This has happened years ago when I was school risk officer at 71st. I think they were going too far. If a family member made noise, they were holding the child's diploma, and I had a couple of associate superintendents had to call out to the school at 71st years ago and tell them, give them the diploma, you're not holding it. If the principals were upset, but the associates, probably Dr. Harrison probably okayed it because a principal tell you, I only listen to the superintendent. But I don't agree with that part of holding it. You probably should want that child gone. Just get them out of there and move on, because two wrongs don't make a right. But those kids that run afoul of the rules, they're gonna learn one day. They're gonna sit back and say, we really should have listened at it, because following rules sets you up for success. You got to have order in life.
Well,
I totally agree.
The thing that gets me, though, some of them say, well, what are you going to do? I'm going to the military. I'm like, start laughing. I'm like, really? So you got a problem following rules and being told what to do, and you want to go in the military? Oh, my God. I mean, that's a train wreck.
Not going to be very successful.
Yeah, because somebody telling you what to do every day. You know what I mean? You don't get a chance to do your own thing. At least not when I was in there. But it's been over 50 years ago, but still. Unless a lot has changed, DL, you just got out of the guard. Has it changed that much?
Talking about reserve.
Your reserve.
And I've been on 3 branches, so it hasn't changed at all. You still have to listen, Man, 50 years ago, that's a long time. Whew, I'm only 50.
My gosh.
I'm getting 57.
You're really old. Every time we talk, I realize how old you are, Troy.
Thank you very much. And I just want you guys to know that you give your elders respect, okay? So don't be starting no mess.
I'm trying to.
Anyway, well, look, so much for high school graduations, and we hope that things go smoothly. But, if they don't, there are some Cumberland County deputies at these graduations that will come and get you, and they will escort you out. So
there you go.
That's embarrassing to me, but I don't know, whatever. I guess these folks just don't care. So you want to talk about 60 Minutes and Scott Palin. I'll let you lead off on that, Jay.
Yeah, I did. Listen, 60 Minutes has been around for almost 60 years. It continues to get very high ratings. I was looking at the ratings. It wins award after award. I think they've done incredible investigative reporting over the years. I always remember Mike Wallace. Growing up, he was sort of the icon, and when I thought of good investigative reporting, I always thought of Mike Wallace. Well, fast forward, you have Scott Pelley, who's been on for years. I think an excellent reporter. And recently, if you've been following Paramount, excuse me, the owners of Paramount have taken over CBS, David Ellison and his father, Larry Ellison. Larry Ellison is one of the richest people in the world, also and I think it's important to know, a very close ally of Donald Trump. They took over the station, and they fired some folks, and they hired a woman named Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss had a very good reputation as more of a conservative reporter, but was a good reporter, and she took over as the sort of the chief of the news division. Well, when she came on board, there was a story about Afghanistan, I believe, that she held back. She wanted to wait 30 days. And there was a controversy as to why you would hold back a story. She claimed that she wanted to get some more interviews from people in the White House, which I guess is reasonable. Anyway, that was a little controversy there. Well, more currently, she just fired 2 people who had been, I think, an associate producer and a producer with the show, fired them for no cause. There was apparently no cause. Well, just this week, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, longtime journalist Scott Pelley was also fired. Pelley apparently was not happy with the person Barry Weiss hired to be the head of 60 Minutes. The guy had absolutely no TV experience. He was a documentary filmmaker, but no TV experience. Scott Pelley made some comments in the meeting that could have been looked at as probably very inappropriate comments, quite honestly. I read them. He really sort of threw both Barry Weiss and the new boss under the bus. He was fired. He was going to walk away anyway. The point of this whole story is you have things changing dramatically, and what people are saying is, and it appears that the Ellison family is really trying to get in favor with the Trumps and trying to turn the news a little less far left to try to be a little bit more on the right side. Is that right or wrong? You guys can tell me. But I think it's the way she's going about really trying to gut 60 Minutes. And if you guys can talk about how your thoughts about 60 Minutes, but just the way that the Ellison family is taking over. Now, remember, one final thought is they also will control CNN. So you're going to have probably major changes at CNN that will take it sort of right, a little bit left to probably further right. Is that the future of the news under this administration? And how much impact does the Trump administration have on this decision making? And I will stop there. A lot said.
Dil, I'll let you comment first.
Well, the big story that I think Barry Weiss aired at is when they held off the Seacock, if I'm pronouncing it, the jail in El Salvador. They held off on that story. I don't understand why it wasn't. It was about a jail in South America, and I don't understand why she held off on that story. But, Jay, I don't think the Ellisons are trying to impress Trump. They already got CBS, and he's a conservative person, and the FCC approved that buy. And this is, I understood somebody else was trying to buy CNN. I don't know if the buyers are lean towards the right or left.
It is also the Ellison family. It's the same family.
Wow. Why would you allow two families to own two major conglomerates like that? To me, that doesn't make any sense. But, hey, stranger things have happened. Well, when you have money, it's what it's going to do for CBS. Now, CBS is not CNN. They don't run. Now, depending on what type of streaming service you have, CBS does have a 24-hour news, but it's not as controversial as CNN and Fox and Newsmax. They just have one or two correspondents, and they talk about news all day. And so does ABC Now. They have these on these streaming platforms. Now, NBC, they split up. They have MS Now, and I think that's the only thing. NBC doesn't have a 24-hour news anymore because MS Now, they're separated. So I don't look at CBS and ABC as a CNN and Fox. I definitely believe you didn't need a hammer taking to CBS. The biggest mistake of, I would say, 60 Minutes is when they did the Kamala Harrison interviews years ago, and then they tried to omit where she made an error. And when I seen what they tried to admit, it wasn't a big deal. She made an error when she said something, and they didn't want that edited. Well, somebody in CBS, one of those production folks, saw that and didn't like it, and that started a firestorm. That was their first mistake, the 60 Minutes.
You're right.
Producers.
You're absolutely right,
So
Gio.
that was their
right.
first mistake that I know of. Now, if you ask somebody on the right, like President Trump, he's seen thousands of mistakes by 60 Minutes and CBS. I just don't see CBS, the 6 o'clock news, and ABC 6 o'clock news. I don't look at the same lens that I look at CNN and these others, Fox, with. Unless I'm missing something. Now, George Stephanopoulos did get in trouble with misquoting Trump when he said he was found liable for rape when it was civil liability. He had to pay. They had to pay Trump some big tons of money. But President Trump doesn't care for CBS, MSNBC, or CNN anyway, regardless. But CBS has changed. I don't watch 60 Minutes like I used to anyway. I just don't.
I just think that I think my only point, and I'll let Troy speak. I just think 60 Minutes is a quality show that continues to get ratings. I thought it was good reporting. I don't know what you think, Troy, but I think they're trying to gut it. And I think you have a lot of people. I've been looking online, and a lot of people are very upset about the gutting of the newsroom.
I think
that's
that
my final comment.
look, guys, I think it was. Back in the days when we had the Walter Cronkite and the Eric Severais, I don't know what their party leaning was. Do you? I mean, I know.
No, I don't.
But that's the point. But you see, now we do know. These people, it's very obvious whether they're right or left or whatever, and 97% of them are on the left, and they're anti-stuff. Rather than reporting the news, what they're trying to do is affect outcomes, even in the print media. So now, the same company that owns the Federal Observer also owns USA Today. So, I've written some things for the Federal Observer, and I was told by my editor, well, they read this in Texas, and they want you to change this, they want you to change that, and they're saying you can't say this and you can't say that. I mean, really? So I wrote a story one time, and I mentioned Black Lives Matter, and they said, well, no, you can't write anything and put Black Lives Matter in it. I mean, really? I mean, I'm saying, well, make it make sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm saying, and that's what I was told, that Texas was firing back at Fayetteville about something I had written. I'm saying is that, see, that's the problem to me, what's going on. Now, at one time, if you follow things, this is what was going on. The New York Times, everybody got up and they read that. And that was their talking points for the day. On all these TV shows, news shows, and everything else, they were the standard. And, of course, they were very left-leaning. But when you try to control what people can write and stuff like that, I'm talking about, if you're an independent columnist, you're not a reporter, my opinions should be my opinions. As long as I'm not saying anything defamatory towards anybody, I ought to be able to write what I want to write. You see what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, that's not the way they operate. And I know that to be a fact because I've been a part of the system. And the 60-minute crowd out there, I used to watch it, but I don't watch it anymore. I mean, because it changed. Yeah. I used to watch, I used to listen to the early morning public radio, NPR. And, but I can hear the bias in it. I'm telling you guys, it's not what it used to be. You know what I mean? I used to listen to NPR every morning on the way to work, but I can't stand it now. I'll tell you. And I can't tell you the last time I watched 60 Minutes. They didn't gut it. What it is just messed up.
I like Troy. 60 Minutes, if I can say that.
Hey, Troy, but really, Jay, you're right about 60 Minutes. I remember watching 60 Minutes when CBS had NFL football. If they had a 4 o'clock game, 60 Minutes started late back in the 70s and whatnot. Yep. But to me, Jay, when I found out about the Kamala Harris altered interview, and then I found out what they altered, it wasn't a big deal for me. But then I thought about it. If they thought they needed to do that for her, right? What else have they done in the past? So what you talked about, Jay, what they build up, integrity, what you felt about them. They kind of flushed it at that moment right there. Don't know who made the decision to do it. Yeah, right. They should have. What CBS should have done was put that person's blood on the line and made him the scapegoat. Say he did this on his own, or was there more than one person?
The optics.
Anyway, guys,
of that decision
our time is up, fellas.
Makes it look like it's flawed. The system is flawed. I agree.
Our time is up, guys. But look,
very good point, DL.
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you all so much. 10 o'clock, we're going to have Heartbeat coming up with the Godbolt Brothers and Company. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to have MP3. So stick around. Great programming on your station for inspiration and information. WIDU 1600 AM 99.7. Jay, DL, have a great weekend. It's going to be hot, but we'll see what's going on. And again, be praying for the Billy R. King family. Appreciate you guys.